Instagram or Pinterest? Which one is better for you? Coming up. Hello there, my name is Nyxson and welcome to my channel. And on this channel we'll be discussing everything online business related to social media and becoming overall free and better person. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And in this video we will be discussing two social media giants, two platforms which are great to drive traffic from and where you can get quite a big attention from these platforms. And these platforms are Instagram, which is on this side, which is on the left, and Pinterest, which is on the right. Both of these windows that you see right here is showcasing my own social media accounts here. On the left I have Instagram, and Instagram handle is go to here from zero, which is one of my brands. I'm not using Instagram that much, but you can check it out nonetheless to have pretty great value. I have quite a lot of posts which are pretty color coded and which are pretty nice, and I think you're gonna get a lot of value from that. And on the right we have my own Pinterest account, which is killing it and getting over 1.1 million monthly viewers. So let's compare with them with each other. Okay, first start with an Instagram, which is pretty huge right now. And if you have no idea what Instagram is, that you've probably lived under a rock for past 5 or maybe even 10 years. Not 10, but 5 years at least. Because Instagram is a huge social media platform with billions of monthly users. And what is it? How we can explain what actually Instagram is? Instagram is a social media platform which based on sharing a media with each other. I would say this is pretty simple explanation, but this means that you can share photos and videos with each other, and it's based around this only, photos and videos. Everything goes with these two things, photos and videos, and everything is built around those two mediums. Everything is based on what comments you get, what likes you get, how the interactions, and how people like this content. And it is fully driven by user generated content. So it means that it is built around users generating content. That's what this means. People are creating this content, like I'm creating, let's say, this photo, which is basically tips for an online business, and it is hugely popular thing. As you can see, as explore page, there are a lot of people sharing this stuff, and it is huge. Having access to almost billion people is huge thing. If you want to become a popular, let's say it's you versus you, like that, like the rock is always a good idea. It is huge thing just because having access to almost more than 1 billion people is giving you an ability to not just give out your ideas, but to sell your products as well. And it is huge thing to drive traffic from. And that's why Instagram is an amazing platform. But is it for you? Well, actually Instagram has quite a lot of different I can say niches inside itself. The first is, of course, the Instagram itself, the posts and the videos. The second is story. And by the way, I'm using, as you understood, the web version of Instagram, which is not the representative of full version of Instagram that is on mobiles, on iOS, Androids, and on all the other platforms. So yeah, this version that I'm showing right now, this version is pretty limited. So first is the regular Instagram, which you see like here. This is photos, videos, likes, comments. That's it. Shares, maybe sending. Second is communication platform, which is based on chats. It can be voice chats, video chats, text chats, doesn't matter. It's based on this. And third is the video sharing platform, like YouTube, like this one, which is called IGTV. It's pretty huge, and it's blowing up pretty big, and it is becoming really fast. It's becoming the YouTube's one of the major competitors. So these three things are pretty huge on Instagram. So here is a question: is Instagram any good for you? Well, if you have quite a lot of content that you can create, the Instagram can be killer application for you. But unfortunately, because so many people are using Instagram, there are as many creators on Instagram. There are hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. Every single person can be a creator on Instagram. And for that reason, in 2019 and beyond, getting a traction on Instagram is becoming harder and harder. It's becoming very hard to gain any attention and enough views if you are not paying anything. And for that reason, Instagram is it became basically a platform for Facebook, which is the owner of Instagram, to drive ads and gain huge revenues from it. Unless you're paying for ads or paying for shout outs or other things, it is very, very hard to grow on Instagram. It's not impossible, don't get me wrong. I know people who are killing it on Instagram, and I know people who are getting a lot of views on Instagram, a lot of likes, a lot of engagement, but it is incredibly hard. It is incredibly hard in 2019, and it will become even harder beyond than that, unless on something on Instagram change. Of course, you will need to have a very narrow strategy, and you need to work very, very hard in order to succeed. Doesn't mean that you have to work less hard in any other place, but still, Instagram can be very daunting for the beginners, unless you have a bit of budget to pay for ads and pay for shoutouts. If you have a bit of budget to pay for ads and shoutouts, Instagram can be pretty good platform. And plus, I have to say that if you want to grow on Instagram, don't try to grow with ads, because it is not as lucrative. You're gonna spend a lot of money and gain very, very little from it. Pay for shoutouts, because there are a lot of people on Instagram to take money just for a little shout outs. You probably can pay a 100,000 follower profile just $20, $30 per 24-hour shout out, and gain a few hundred followers with ease. The next on the list, of course, is Pinterest, which is the runner-up, the small guy compared to Instagram. And Pinterest is a relatively new social media platform and has the user base of around 300 million users in 2019, which is at least 3 to 4 times smaller than Instagram's, but is still quite a huge following around this social media platform. So what is Pinterest? Actually, Pinterest is a bit different than Instagram, and people are usually confusing them with each other. While Instagram is a social media platform that is driven with the user-generated content, Pinterest is a bit different. Pinterest is driven with any content on internet, because there's a platform that is sharing bookmarks on internet, not photos like people would think. It's a bookmarks. Every single picture that you see, every single picture here, every single one of them is a bookmark. Basically, this means that every single one of them is a link to a certain article, to a certain video, to a certain picture. It can be linked to Instagram, it can be linked to YouTube, it can be linked to any blog, anything. It can be linked to basically anything. This is what Pinterest is. It's people are gathering everything on it, everything interested that they found on internet on one place, on everything interesting that they have created on internet. These photos itself are not the content, the actual content, unlike on Instagram. These are gateways to the content. When you press on one of them, you are gonna go to the content itself. This is like thumbnails. Like on YouTube, what you see on YouTube when you go are the thumbnails, but when you press it, you're going to the video itself. And here, what you're pressing is going to the website where everything is located. And this thing is actually pretty interesting and pretty big, because you don't need to create basically anything other than the pins itself, which means the pictures. You don't need to create anything other than the pictures to get people to your website. That's it. And this is a pretty big thing Unlike on Instagram, where you have to go around within the platform, where you need to get people to engage within the platform, you can get people outside of the platform and you will be rewarded for that. This is a pretty big thing. This thing that distinguishes Pinterest from any other social media platform, including Facebook or even some social media aspects of YouTube as well. The Pinterest is getting people out of the Pinterest itself. On a mobile phone, when you go to the article, when you're pressing a pen, you're getting to article within the Pinterest itself, because Pinterest is browser as well. You're going within the Pinterest, reading an article or seeing a video or liking the picture, then going back to Pinterest with a simple click of a button. And this is a huge thing. And that's why Pinterest is getting more and more traction, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger every day. And I think that by my measurements, it will grow more than 500 million by the end of 2020, even more than that probably. But this is my rough estimate, what I saw. So now the question for you, the user and the business owner, or doesn't matter whoever you are, which one is better for you? If you're a consumer that want to get a lot of content and see a lot of stuff on the internet, they're both good for you. Instagram is just good for just any content that you want to see, the media content, while Pinterest is good if you like reading, because the majority of content here is articles. The other thing which is great on Pinterest is product placement. You have a lot of products here to buy as well. You can find a lot of great products to buy, which is simply amazing. You can go and find a lot of products, and you can sell the products if you want, or you can buy the products. There are a lot of great design thing, and people are more creative people. You will find more creative people on Pinterest because they're not as dissolved. But there are a lot of great creative people on Instagram as well, don't get me wrong, but they're not as dissolved into the crowd. Now, as for the business, the people who want to grow their social media presence, which one is better for you? Well, if you are starting in 2019, if you haven't started before watching this video, or if you are just starting, then Instagram probably will be a not bad idea, but still not a great idea, because it's way harder to grow Instagram than Pinterest. Pinterest is way easier to grow in 2019. Instagram will take a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of content creation to grab people's attention, while on Pinterest is far easier than that, because you actually don't need that many contents to create yourself to gather people, because Pinterest has a very interesting thing, unlike the other social media platforms. It's called repins, which means that you can get other people's content on your profile and then share this content. You're not sharing it like your own, but you're getting other people's content on your profile, and other people are getting your content on theirs. So basically, this is all the cross promotion, and everyone is getting something, which is simply a fantastic thing. And for that reason, growing Pinterest is way easier than Instagram. As you can see, my Instagram profile, I will give you some numbers. I was growing my Instagram for around 2 months, and this is what I got. I haven't used Instagram since probably January now. So I was using it in December and January. Pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. What I have on Pinterest that I started by the end of December, but I can say the beginning of January from 2019, which is now is middle of May. I managed to grow it to 1.1 million monthly viewers in 4 months. 4 months, which is probably impossible on Instagram without huge budgets. So if you're a beginner and want to grow your social media presence, start with Pinterest. It's a bit hard to understand in the beginning, but it's still pretty easy to grow. If you don't know how to do that, you can see the card above right there, which I have created a video on how to grow your Pinterest, and by the way, how to make money with it, which is pretty easy as well. So all in all, I think that Pinterest is a better choice if you're a beginner, but if you have establish some presence on Instagram, having like 1,000+ followers, then you should continue with Instagram, because most likely the Instagram will give you far better results than Pinterest. But if you have enough time, then you can go and do them both and become a social media giant in no time. So thank you for your attention. This was it for today. I hope you liked the video. Then drop a like down below. Give me a comment. Tell me what you liked about this video, or you have suggestions. Do you have any ideas? Do you think that Instagram is actually easier or Pinterest is actually harder? I'm very interested in your opinions. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you want more videos like this one, and click a bell button if you are there. By the way, thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you in the next video. See ya!